In this video, we're going to talk about the channel strip, but we have to get some audio in before we talk about the channel strip. So I have downloaded some tracks to mix from a website that's linked in the video description. And if you're watching this for my class, I'll have that link on Canvas. So we're going to import these tracks. So if I go in Studio One to the song menu, import file, I can simply click one, hold down Shift and click the other one, click open, and it will bring all of these tracks in, create a new track for each one. Let me close the mix window here. So you see them all there, and it will color code them. And the ones from this Mix Secrets website are usually numbered so that they show up in some order that makes sense. I can adjust the size of the display here to make them all really big, in which case I can't see any of them. Or if I put them on small, then I can see most of them. If I open the mix window here, I can make this a little taller. And here's where this small or large mix window comes in handy, because I can put the sends and inserts to the side there. But for now, we don't really need to see the waveform because I'm going to talk about this channel strip. So I'm going to actually make this a little bigger. So what we get here, this is called a channel, and this whole area is generally referred to as a channel strip. And we get one of these for each of the tracks of audio that we have. If we were recording to these tracks here where it says input L, that would be the microphone input that it would record from. Since I have two inputs on this interface, I could switch it to input 2. And then here where it says main is the output, which for main is over here. That's our main out. And we're going to talk about that a little bit in the next video, a case in which we might change that. This fader here moves things. It's the pan, so you can move things from left to right. So let's just take something. Well, let's just take the bass. Well, yeah, we'll get to that. So the S is for solo, so you only hear that. The M is for mute, so you don't hear it. The dot is record enable, and the little speaker is monitor. So let's come to the bass. DI, let's solo the bass. And here it is. And we hit play. And we hear the bass there. So now you can see, if I hit play again and move the pan back and forth, that you should hear it only in the left ear, only in the right ear, like that. So that's what the pan does. Notice when I hit solo that everything else mutes, although if I hit mute on one, it only applies to that one. The fader here controls the volume. It says volume when you hover over it, although I like to think of it more as gain. Gain being the ratio of input to output, meaning when you put it at 0, you're getting out exactly what was put in. If it's below, down here in the minuses, then the output is less than the original input. And if it's above, then you're amplifying it. You're making the output louder than the original input. It's generally a good rule to try to mix everything at 0 or below. In digital, like all those old sayings, can change a little bit. But as a rule, try to stay at or below 0. Obviously, the fader goes above 0 for a reason. But for our purposes, let's aim for at or below 0 on all of the faders. Okay, so we have our strip. Audio flows from the top down. So we have inserts, which is where we would put plugins. That inserts an effects processor into the channel there. So let's just take the bass. I'm just going to pick some things here. Let's put a compressor there. And if I put, after the compressor, if I put the EQ, then the signal would be compressed, then EQ'd. If I change the order of these on the insert strip, the signal would be EQ'd and then compressed. We will talk about that a lot more when we get to talking about effects, but there in the inserts it matters. This next section is called sends, which is where we can send things away. And I'm going to talk about that a good bit more in the routing video, which will be next. But if we had, say, a reverb return, we could send it from there to the reverb return. So input selector, output selector, pan, mute solo, record monitor, gain fader. That's what the channel strip has.